Love to see the likes getting us kicked off. That's wonderful to see. We have some new faces that are starting out early with us this morning, and there we go. Marlon, good morning. We've got everybody, sort of early birds are on, and we're getting ready to kick it off. And I know that we love to have the question and answers and the song requests and all of that stuff. So keep those rolling, but I'm likely just before we get everybody else on here for the as the others start rolling in, I wanted to just reassure you that we're just going, this is definitely, we want to stay focused on this as our practice opportunity, our warm-up opportunity. So we start with A440. And oh, good. That's a great theme. I really appreciate you starting with those kinds of comments and starting with the, those themes that can run through the whole sequence here. I'm really going to shift my step a little bit to try to keep us all focused on our timetables too, because I know that you guys are all productive. And you guys are all sort of, you've got other things you want to work on, which doesn't include, warming up ad infinitum. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and get started today. We're starting with breath today. I feel like I was in a bit of a rush to get here, even though I was here early. All right, so we have good mornings. We have from Kevin. We have good morning, guitar friends from Tort. We have Kevin. Hey, Anthony, how are you? Good morning. Oh, Frank and Jackie. Good morning to everyone. That's a newcomer, early commenter. Thank you for that, Frank and Jackie. And Anthony, doing well. Kevin, how are you? Frank and Jackie, message retracted. That's okay. Come on again. Raul, good morning. Kevin, great. Best time of day. I haven't seen that GR and the number 8 for a long time. That's a wonderful thing to see again. Used to see those in all of our skateboard efforts back in my misspent youth. Good morning, all. Anthony, really the best time of day. It's amen, brother. Amen. How do you handle pick movement? Kanye. Hey, good morning. Good to have you here. I know we talked, your people were talking to my people last night, and we got something worked out here, so I appreciate you coming by this morning. And let's take a look at A440. So I'm just going to do a quick tune-up. And now I have a reference tone. I've used that A440 that I gave you earlier to reference my 5th fret harmonic on the A string. And now what we're doing is we're breathing our way through the tuning process. We're going to try to keep these things happening in a timely manner. But it is a morning ritual, so we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Play Wonderwall. You got it. You got it, man. That's a great song. Any songs from Don McLean? Oh, wow. 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 Great stuff to see. I have to add full disclosure, what you've walked yourself into this morning. I hope you're a guitar player. If your guitar player is requesting songs, please keep those coming. What we are designing this sequence, this live stream is specifically designed for you to show up. Arrive with a guitar, tune up with us, do some breathing work, and then let's get our morning ritual started for guitar growth. We're here for the whole year of 2025. We're here for the entire year. We are not going anywhere. We are right here every day, 5 days a week. Good Lord willing, at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. talking about breath. We're talking about warming up. We're talking about tuning up first. Tuning's fairly important. And then we're talking about warming up. This is not a session for everyone. It's not designed for everyone. It's designed for those of us who would like to show up and go through a process of about 130, 150 hours over the next year, this entire 2025, and come back at the end of the year and witness some measurable gains. So that's what we're here to do. That's the intent of this live stream in the mornings. We are also have membership-based live streams where we talk about pulling songs apart, transcribing in real time, and talking about those things that reduce the barriers to our accessing advancing guitar techniques. So that's what we do. So keep asking for those songs, keep requesting those songs, because those songs show up, they inform our channel. We do go back and assess all of these things and then incorporate all of that stuff into upcoming professionally produced and curated videos for your viewing enjoyment. So without further ado, we're all tuned up and it seems like my breath is kind of good to go. How's your breath going? Hopefully it's good. Enjoying working through the Ted Green book with you. I appreciate that. I look at it, it's a little bit like road. I'm going to talk about that a little bit too, as well as Kevin had a great thread that we wanted to share. I think this morning, I don't see it for some reason. It was about how do you handle pick movement? Yeah, I keep the pick movement on a short leash. And I see some of these other songs, Jim Croce, James Taylor, Paul Simon, you got it. Gary, these are all, Gary Beer Boy, yeah, that's good. They're all great songs and they're all gonna start with, maybe we'll get to some later this morning, but right now we have guitar players who show up with a guitar, tune up, and we were all practicing and playing the guitar and warming up together. So we'll go ahead and start. Hopefully you have a guitar with you, Gary, and we're going to start with 3 and 4 on frets 11 and 12, the old 3 and 4. Ready? 1 and 2, and we're using 4 attacks per beat. I know it's a little early in the week to be using 4 attacks per beat, but let's go ahead and we've got a lot of stuff to come. We've got another excerpt from the Steve Vais 10-hour guitar workout, from the super famous Steve Vais 10-hour guitar workout. We're going to add another figure from that. We're going to review all of the figures so far, figures 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have some chords to review. We have some other harmonic devices that we wanted to introduce as well. So let's go ahead and start with fingers 3 and 4, 4 attacks per beat, and it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm going to count us off so we can all play together. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. Sorry, 1 and 2, and I'm not sure where I went. Pick creep. Pick creep is something that I'm definitely aware of, and sometimes when I hold the pick like this, let me start that again. So the pick is going to be held like, you can hold it like this, you can, kind of hold it like this, you can hold it a number of different ways. I try to keep it squeezed, so I'm really holding on to the pick. And so now that transfers a lot of energy. Let's start in position number 4 again. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. That transfers a lot of energy to my guitar. So sometimes I use my pick like this, right? And then I can kind of roll my pick so I can change the angle, so it's a positive or negative angle, and I can do this with it. I'm really working hard to try to keep that pick addressing the string in a positive way, right? back to position 4, please. Ready? 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, E and a. Yeah. Paganini, yeah. You know what you can do, you know, that's another great question. You can play anything you set your mind to. If you wanted to play some Boys to Men, you could even do that on the guitar. I think there's one of those songs on my channel, like if you go back to Jason Carey guitar right here on YouTube and type in Boys to Men, I bet you can find something. And then we're moving over to fingers 2 and 3, and here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 11 and a 12 E and a do 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 E and a T E and a 1 E and a. There we are. Off and running. These are the warm-up races to the Derby, the old Kentucky Derby. But I've got a nice amount of pressure on my picking hand and a nice amount of control on my my fretting hand. So what I'm trying to do here is just evenly approach each note. So I want to be in full control of each note. My goal is not just speed, although these are tremendous exercises for building speed and technique. As you will see as we proceed over the span of the next several months together. And it's, you know, it's a little bit like going to church. We can count on this being roughly the same, but we're going to get a new, you know, homily out of it every time around, right? Every spin. Just a little fingers 1 and 2 on frets 11 and 12. Here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and I see the hearts flying. That's really cool. I really love when I see those hearts, you know. Yeah, that's funny. I see that. Potty talk. And does thickness require different grips? Yeah, you know, that's a good question. So let me come right back to that. If you have specific songs you would like to request, I do collect all of these requests from this live chat and then put those to work later on in the channel. So we do appreciate that. If you do want to have, you know, your questions answered like that in real time that have something to do with other than warm up, then we have membership live streams where we can get together in a live format and in a wide format and just address those questions that you might have in real time. It's a real benefit, and some of us are really enjoying it. So let's take a look at fingers 3 and 4, and 1 E and a 2 E and a stretch over 10 and 12 E and a. Yeah, we're doing the finger 4 stretch. We're going to work a little bit more. Frank, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate those. It's 60 beats per minute for sure. Yeah, I appreciate you helping me field some questions while I'm working, you know, the line here. But after 15 minutes, I'll go ahead back, and then we're coming up on the 15-minute marker, so we're almost due for a stretch, and that's generally when I typically will look at questions and review. So if you don't mind, I'll keep the flow going for those of us who are actually playing along, and I don't want to interrupt that too much. That's the primary interest why we're here. The primary driver that keeps us moving forward is that capacity to not be distracted and focus on the thing that we need to accomplish. So we have fingers 2 and 3. There's so many things that prevent us from accomplishing the thing that we are just wanting to keep this moving forward. So Utah, good morning. 2 and 3, fingers 2 and 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E. It is 60 beats per minute. Raoul is absolutely correct. Raoul is pretty much, you know, there are a few of us who've been here from the beginning, and I think Utah, you're becoming one of those people. And maybe you were here from the beginning. It certainly is gladdening to see familiar icons and familiar faces and hear familiar voices. So that's what this morning live stream is all about. 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 5 days a week. Fingers 2 and 3 have, they're always sort of like problem children for me for some reason. I've just got this, I've got to just work on breathing so I can oxygenate that tissue, get that tissue programming itself, and just repeat it until there's compliance. Here we go. 1 E and a fingers 1 and 2, same thing. 1 E and a 2 E and a T and a 4 E and a. I'm really happy to see friends coming from our chord chemistry series. The chord chemistry series, I have a comment that I'm ready to, the Zen guitar player dropped a comment, and it makes sense. He's like, hey, really appreciate the work you're doing, pal, but that's not really the way Ted Green intended to go through the book. Well, the way I look at it, and I'm just getting ready to just kind of, and I'm so thankful that there are so many thoughtful comments coming on that in that department, because now we have a discussion. We have these little discussions that open up thought patterns that wouldn't have otherwise necessarily permeated that live or that series. We've got to use fingers 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4. Here we go. Darren, good morning. Good morning. Love it. And 2, 3, and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a you know what to do and Thanks, Frank, again for that super chat. That's greatly appreciated. Can't change the world if you can't keep the lights on. That's absolutely true. But I think there's a little bit. You ever memorize any like Shakespeare? The words are all just kind of there to be memorized, and some of us memorize things in different ways. You memorize long passages of classical music. You memorize this and that. You memorize words when you're adding words to our vocabulary. We just learn the word, and then we learn about its usage and application through experience and process. So, I'd learn a collection of words just the same way I would learn a collection of chords. Arguably, Ted Green's chords are the same sort of thing. We're learning a musical language, and we're actually adding words or chords to our vocabulary. And that's exactly what we have to do. We have to go through each one individually as they're written in the book and absorb those as best we can and revisit those. We'll find favorites, we'll find words that we like to use and we favor our words. And then slowly they become part of our vocabulary, and we do exercises around them. But the sole purpose of working through this book the way I'm doing it is to literally work through it word by word, page by page, chord by chord. And that way we can do what we want with those things. But I do have another series of things coming, where we're working. I started working on these, introducing these chords, and linking them together in this live stream, but it's really not the time and it's really not the place necessarily to do that yet. So I'm working on another set of videos that will address the need to suture all of these chords together, okay? Fingers 1 and 2 and 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E and a. Now we've got Kanye mentioning Alan Holdsworth, John McLaughlin, and John Scofield. Absolutely killer. Have you heard the Friday Night in San Francisco album? It's John McLaughlin, Al Di Meola, and Paco de Lucia. Amazing Grace. nice, good. Anthony, yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to approach the book, you know. It's basically a reference. I would look at it like the Harvard Dictionary of Music. Anytime you had a question about 𝗵𝘂𝗂, you know, you might flip over to page, you know, 77, and then halfway down you might find 𝗵𝘂𝗂, how to pronounce it, the definition and usage, and some musical, like, historic applications. Or you might look at the Merriam-Webster dictionary or the slang dictionary or whatever you're doing, but I'm looking at chord chemistry as a reference book. So I'm just working through, basically functionally working through a dictionary, you know. And it's, you know, I'm a real tech, you know, I love to read textbooks and I love to read manuals. All of those things are exciting to me because now I've got the, I become armed, I become informed with the things that make me able to do the thing that I'd like to do. So anyway, it's a little confusing maybe, but let's take a look at 1E and a 2E, and I've got some questions coming because I'm going to warm up here, but 1E and a 2, we're using fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1E and a 2E, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 4E and 4 attacks per beat, 60 beats per minute. Yeah. But, you know, we wouldn't have that discussion if people like, you know, the Zen guitarist, I haven't really checked them out yet, but if you don't ask those questions, if you don't have the sack to kind of like field those questions or you know, start the conversation, there is no right or wrong. There is no better or worse than. I mean, there is right and wrong, obviously, because, you know, there is just plain right and wrong. But there is, you know, there are so many approaches to things that we can discuss each approach and gain something from each approach, can't we? That's the point that we're interested in making here. And, you know, I try to remember that everything is valid, and even if it's not something that I practice every day, it might be something someone else practices every day, and I might be able to gain from their insight, from their sharing, their willingness to share their insight, because it's a community. That's a community-minded person that comments. Like, you take a look at this live stream and this live chat, and you take a look at how many community-minded people there are trying to make the world a better place just through this chat. I mean, it's simple, but you think about the act of being here, you think about what it takes, the time that you're spending. You could be doing, you know, anything else in life, but you're here doing this, making the good thing better, right? Let's do the fourth finger stretch, 1E and a 2, and then we'll go back and do the first finger stretch, and then we'll take a stretch, okay? 1E and a 2E and a T-E and a 4E and a. These stretches are designed to get us in shape for the Ted Green's Chord Chemistry series on my channel, right here at Jason Carey Guitar on YouTube. Ted Green's Chord Chemistry, it's a playlist that you can easily find and join. If you haven't joined yet, this is the kind of finger work that we're doing, the background work, the kind of packet that we're developing to deploy on this series. We want our fingers to be, you know, members of the fretboard family. All fingers are going to be useful for this chord chemistry process. And I don't want to discount the breath. The breath pattern is separate from the mechanical pattern on the guitar. get back up to position 9. I'm gonna start one position early. Whoo! Yeah. No, what's going on? So we have a few questions I can see rolling by. So I'm going to go ahead and answer. We'll get right to those, and we'll start right now. We'll finish up with the 1, 2, 3, 4s with the first finger stretch. And as you know, this one's a little bit more challenging for me for some reason. You'd think that my first finger would be, you know, more willing to go grab the thing, go grab the fret removed than my fourth finger is to grab the fret removed. But for some reason, my fourth finger just feels really good about doing that job. We'll start in 9th position. We'll reach back to fret 8. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, E and a. I'm dropping a little palm mute on these, so in token of Mr. McLaughlin's technique. So we're using a little palm mute this morning on this section. In memory, well, in just being observant of John McLaughlin's technique and, you know, Shakti or the Mahavishnu Orchestra. We're birds of fire. We've got an intermounting flame going. It's insurmountable. And we have this very nice left hand, you know, fretting hand that's tuning itself up. It's not, the fingers aren't lifting too far away from the fretboard. They're doing just as we programmed at much slower tempos. So we know that we are in full control. Can we further refine this? Absolutely. Do we need to? Well, I don't know. Are you a campfire guitar player? Do you want to play there? Do you want to go tour the world? What are your goals? That's a good question. If you wanted to share some of your guitar goals for 2025, this is a good place to drop those goals, because there are others here who have similar goals, likely, and are probably at different places in their goals and sets of goals and objectives. All right, so we've made it to the first stretch. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do the first thing. Let's see if that cup of bean, let's see if the mocha pot generated something of use, some stovetop espresso, and I'm just fascinated by the stovetop espresso for some reason. Oh man, that's a tough thing to beat right there. That is just super, like, whew. That is working for sure. All right, straight elbows. You want to grab each fingertip and move it evenly so that there's an even stretch, and hold it for 15 seconds. Wow, I've got to go back here a little bit. Let me know if I missed anything. Maybe if you are an experienced, okay, Frank and Jackie said, Frank just dropped us a super chat, so thank you very much for the what do you call it, the bread, you know, thank you very much for the bread. That's helpful. Maybe if you were an experienced pro level guitar player, then it could be used as a reference or something, but for a player like me, then if you don't go page by page, then I get lost. You know, I think that happens to players at all levels. I mean, I'm you know, right on the edge of getting lost in that book all the time. And if you look carefully at all of my lessons, you know, I've been slowly trying to get these lessons more and more cogent, and just realize that, you know, some of us we're all there for different reasons. So just present the material, Jason. Just present the material, and be the voice that you wanted to have in your practice room when you were in the university. And just be that person walking through it with you, that voice that you hear passing the time. And it's good, you know, it's good. It's some of the harmonic content is very. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It can be very challenging and difficult to comprehend at some point, sometimes. But it comes. It's like, as long as you have a little bit of stick-to-itiveness, all of those chords, even if you get one chord out of it that you add into the song that your hit song, I mean, there you go. Or if it took you to a new place that you never thought you would go in music, I mean, it's all worth it. Just the act of. But if you do want to, further yourself even more than that, you can stick around and really benefit. The benefits of this book, they won't stop paying out over the span of a lifetime. Do you know what I mean? They'll continue to pay out over the span of a lifetime. And I thought maybe putting the series behind a paywall, and I'm like, why would I do something stupid like that? This is information, and I'm not, tedgreen.com is a place where you can go and you can literally look at a repository of information that he developed and left for all of us, and you can contribute there. That's what I'd like to see happen, is contributions being made there at tedgreen.com. I think just showing up and getting through the whole series. I'm kind of curious to see how many of us are actually going to complete the entire series. It could take some time, and it doesn't have to happen all in one fell swoop. Do you know what I mean? Just allow yourself the time to really love what it is you're doing and to do it well. And then everything else will fall in place. That's what I've found. But I'm also the other side of me says I'm super unhealthfully competitive, and it's just something that it's innate or whatever. It's like an instinct or whatever it is. I'm not sure, but it's genetically wired into me. So, but I'm competitive with my own person, right? And that's what I would encourage you to do. And why would we be competitive and develop our competitiveness to serve? Well, I've always loved to put myself in a situation where I can serve the underdog. And we do that. If we can service the underdog or be in service to God, then everything else will fall in place. Anthony, it's also fun to take a song that but are bored of playing and find a new Ted Green chord for each chord in the song. It'll change your playing right away. Yeah, that's a great thing. Blackest of Metal, you teaching guitar, nimble fingers. Yes, I too am a fan of the metal, of the metal. So don't let my acoustic guitar fool you. Let's see, too technical for me also. I get bored quick, so I just admire others playing. I feel the same way about so many things, and then if I stick with it, I usually can, overcome that barrier for access. So Blackest of Metal, and then we all have to prioritize our time too, right? So I'm getting ready to jump back in the practice routine here. Clay Potts, I need a guitar. You know what, Clay, I would recommend practice, go to a few shops, get your hands on a few, figure out your budget first, figure out what you're willing to spend. Don't go over and don't go under. If this is your first guitar, I would recommend you don't pay it over $150, because you could get a $1,000 or $3,000 guitar and never appreciate what that is, right? I would recommend you start with a 50 or a Craigslist 50 or a Facebook Marketplace 50, an 𝗪𝗋𝗋𝗋. Make sure it's set up, well. Maybe you go to a shop to do this, spend $150, and then learn on that, and then plan on spending 6 months or a year on that. Don't plan on spending any more money. It's so important for me. I can't emphasize it enough to learn that those tiers of appreciation come from starting at the bottom, and we can't recognize where the peaks and the valleys are if we just start, way up here. Some of us start way up here, and and we're gifted, and we have the cash flow. We're not concerned about any of that stuff. But I think even if you did have the cash flow and unlimited disposable income, then you could go ahead and still focus on the bottom of the barrel and see what you can turn at the bottom of the barrel, because your next level up, a $350 guitar, is going to give you things. It's going to be a voice, a new voice for you that you never thought possible. And as you graduate from that 350 to the 750, and that 750 to 1500, and that 1500 to you know, Dana Bourgeois' 8500 or whatever, that span of life experience is going to be very rich and very rewarding experience for you. You know, that's my take on it. But it's all happening over time. Nimblefinger, thank you very much for asking those things. Mr. I would love to become a better rhythm player this year. All right, thank you for sharing your goal. Better rhythm player. So you're in the right place. You're actually becoming a better rhythm player just sitting here playing along with a metronome. So point number one, you're already doing the right thing. First, this is exactly what I've been searching for, a live stream for an experienced guitar player. Thanks. Wow. First, hey, that's really something. You know, it's there are a lot of experienced guitar players out there, and I wanted to make some time for myself this year because I have my own goals. I've written my own 8-hour day, 12-hour day. I have an entire year of programmatic approach to the guitar that I have. I have to execute the plan now because I want to win. You know, I've got this plan, a lofty plan in my own mind. But if you don't think big, you know, you can think big. But if you don't think big enough, you're likely to fail, right? So you've got to think super big, super lofty, get the plan written down. And I was going to be here every day anyway, just doing the warm-up. So I thought, I know there are other guitar players out there who also want to better themselves and their families and their communities and the world at large through the craft of practicing the guitar. So I know in my heart, I know that you're out there, and I appreciate that. So thank you very much. And every morning, 5 days a week, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, we're going to be here. And you're more than welcome. It's free. It will remain free for the entire year. And all right, Marlon. Yeah, see, I love it. We've got such a supportive live chat. We haven't been here for, you know, very long. We've already got a culture of respect cultivated here. Blackest of metal. What's more technical, drums or guitar? That's a good question. I think that depends largely on where you want to take either one. They could be, even bass guitar can be super technical, right? It's all, you know, if you wanted to play the spoons, like, where do you want to take it? Do you want to play like 5/4? I mean, that's a good question. I want to eventually play with jazz bands and do solo performances like Joe Pass. All right. Yeah, we're in a similar headspace here at Chord. Kevin Haas. I'm more a finger picker. I want to be better with the pick. So we are doing, I am starting to shape my fingernails again, as we discussed yesterday. So you can see that finger style is going to become a trend here in this live stream as well. Chief, Jesus is the only way to heaven. Amen, brother. Jesus is God. Repent. Absolutely. There you go. I appreciate you saying that. Are you here playing guitar with us? And that would be even better if you can come and hang out with us with a guitar and then just really build that message. SW, hello. And let's see. Yeah, all right. So some of us are here to help and some of us are here to hinder. So, you know, I'm just working on, you know, the help part of things. All right, black metal. Yep, I'm going to stick around, see how good you are, as you seem to understand mechanics very well. I also love acoustic guitar for harmonies. Awesome. Yeah, you're more than welcome. You can come and go as you please too. I mean, there is no commitment. It's fine. There's no financial. Once in a while, it helps if some of you drop me a super chat. It's definitely, you know, it's not necessary, but it's definitely helpful. It's like a little dopamine hit, and it keeps the thing alive, you know. I'm going to go, I shouldn't say this is like bad business practice. I'm going to be here whether you drop super chats or not. Okay. I'm going to be here regardless. It's free. And it's like I'm taking a PX4, you know, a subcomp, and I'm just blowing myself in the foot. You know, it's like people don't do that. But it is going to be free. So I appreciate that. And I just want to be able to play along with records. So that's the way the old jazzers did it. They let the albums run. And that's how it's always been done. You know, just let the record run and play like you're the guitar player they forgot to hire for the date. All right, as you know, we're moving on to position 9. Here we go. Good morning, 𝗫𝗏. Can you give us one of your best riffs? Yeah, let's take a look at that. I've got to just get through. I really appreciate the question. I want to share those things with you for sure, but I've got to just get us through this warm-up period. So if you don't mind, if you could hang on, if you have the time to hang on or the interest to hang on, please do. And if not, I really do appreciate your question, okay? How many hours have you practiced the guitar? So let's get started on this and I'll answer that question. So we're using fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're using fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, and then with down, up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, which is basically diagonal patterns, but they invert, right? So this one goes 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 9, 10, 11, 12. We take that package and then we move it down a half step. We shift our position and we use 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we take that packet, shift it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and so on and so forth, until we need to find our drill cloth, you know? That's not really how it goes. Just if you feel like you're going to drool, just maybe close your mouth, right? Ready? 1 E and a 2 E and a, if you can. I know I've met some of us who can't, but 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a faux E and a. This is a great pattern for those of us who want to develop, like Kevin the story this morning, you know, Kevin Haas asked, what do you do about pick movement? And you know, pick movement can also be interpreted as unwanted shuffling about between the thumb and the index fingers. So the thumb and the index fingers are also part and parcel of that tone generating machine, which we call our fingertips. So tone comes from the fingers for sure. And then let's go back to the 4 middle strings. 1 E and a 2 E. Ready? 1 E and a 2 E and a here D go E and just feels good to be able to do something that requires skill, you know, and you can feel it's like building a house from the ground up. If you're a carpenter, you know, you do the part of the groundwork crew, you watch the hole happen, you watch the foundation go in, you watch the carpenters come in and deck it over, you know, and you're all part of the same, you know, this craft that literally you can see what you're doing when you're done. 1 E and a 2 E and a bottom 4 strings go E and a. Yeah, and then so, you know, a year from now we'll take a look at the live stream and we'll compare that to the first live stream that we did, and we're going to take a look at how much you know, as embarrassing as it is going to be for me personally, we are going to do it, and I really am curious about what 130, 150, 170 hours of warm-up over the span of a year is going to do for my guitar playing, because I've already noticed the benefit. All right, so 1 E and to do the B minor warm-up, and that's 1, 4, 3, 1. Let me get this over here. It's 1, 4, 3, 1, 3, and then we have the 2, 1, and then 4. If you haven't done this yet, it will require you to likely learn the pattern first and then join us in the next time around, tomorrow or the day. But you gotta, if you don't know this shape, we're gonna have to woodshed it for sure to keep up. 1 E and a 2 E, but this adds some tonic quality to our, you know, our approach. And plus it gets all 4 fingers involved. That's one of the things that, you know, Andy from Berkeley was showing me this one. And 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a faux E and a. And it's, you know, it's a great sonority on its own, in its own right, but now it's just like a minor 7 quality that we're playing all over the guitar up to fret 9, right? We're going up to fret, let's push it. Let's push it up to fret 12 and make ourselves a little bit uncomfortable. I don't have a cutaway on this guitar. It's not like a, you know, a 𝗵𝗏 where it's designed to be, you know, super functional, but it is, you know, it's the dreadnought shape, so there's a blocker up there, just kind of prevent you from having too much fun. And no, I'm just joking. It's just it's a physical limitation that we need to be aware of and overcome, right? All right, so we've got 13 likes. This is the time of day where we say, hey, if you're here and you haven't clicked on like yet, we'd like to get a benchmark of about 20 likes for each live session. So if we can start getting, I'm going to start saying we like to see about 40 likes for each session. So if you can help us with that simple task of clicking that like button, now would be a wonderful time to do that. And we definitely we all appreciate it, because we're all going to be here all year long. Some of us, while we're waiting to get started, we're already tapping the like button, because they're just kind of like, it's a cultural thing, I think. And we want to be careful of the things, the habits that we develop and the routines that we develop, because some of those might not be good for us, right? Some of those could hinder, right? But we want to be, you know, helpful. My face should be on a beer can. It'd be the most generic beer ever. Uncle Jason's beer. Great beer, cheap. I love it. That's good. Grant Reader. I didn't know I had another nephew kicking around out there, but welcome to the family, pal. And you talk to me just like you're a family member, so I appreciate that. We've got a, let's see. Frank and Jack, I just want to be able to play along with records. Can you give us any of your own riffs? First, how many hours have you practiced on the guitar? So I have a friend who is a shred guitar player. His name is 𝗪𝗿𝗄𝗏, and he's a wonderfully talented and, you know, wonderfully, supremely, and he practices, 16th note triplets at 120 on the metronome, and we did the math. He's played over 1 billion notes in about a decade, right? So we did the math, and he played over 1 billion notes, well over 1 billion notes in a decade. So that's interesting to me, right? And how many hours? I'm playing at least half an hour here every morning, 5 days a week. So that translates into 130 hours a year. So you can do the math. I've been playing for a time, and I've probably played more than that, especially in university. I was probably more like 5 or 6 hours a day. I studied guitar more than I studied my studies, you know what I mean? All right. 8 hours a day, he said. Yes, we go through 8 hours a day. I mean, we can, whether it's, some of it's discovery-based journeying, chasing the dragon down or whatever you call it. I don't know if that's a negative context or what, but some of it is discovery-based learning, right? Focused practice is a different thing than discovery-based learning. We have to do the rote, we have to go learn the words, we have to memorize a bank of words in order to improve ourselves, improve our vocabulary. That's what we're doing with chord chemistry. We're learning a bank of chords or words to improve our guitar language, our musical language. And so that's an ongoing process. And let's see, that sounds like Les Paul riff. Joe, yeah, right on. All right. God dang, he's Grant Reader. Are you playing guitar with us today? Let's go ahead and get another one of these exercises going. Oh, right. So now's the time we're going to revisit, and we're reintroducing parts of Steve Vai's 10-hour guitar workout. So this is where we start just kind of coming back to things, right? So let me get my trusty stand out here. This is the stand I unboxed the other day, and that actually is it's really lightweight. It's aluminum. It's super heavy duty. It's super easy to set up, and it's got a little camera thing down here, which I like because I can point it right at my guitar, and when I'm writing songs or writing, doing transcriptions, I can, it's really cool. So we're looking at. Let me get this tilted. I don't know if I can tilt this back any further. I think that's as far back as it goes. But we're looking at figure 1. We're just going to continue to run these. I know Raul, I know some of us would love to have this book. And so what I'm going to do is I'm using this time as an opportunity, because this is all part of the warm-up, right? This is very easy stuff. The conceptual things are easy to grab, and we use fingers 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm using 2 attacks per beat in order to describe this to you, share this with you right now. Down, up, down, up. We're alternating each tone, each pick stroke. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and this differentiates itself from what we've been doing. By the way, when we get to the position shift, we're using, instead of descending the position shift, we're using the same ascending. Right, good. But then we wouldn't go up here, we would go here. So I have to do a little bit of ironing the wrinkle out of the shirt. Let's do the whole thing all the way up to position number 9. This gives us an opportunity. You can take a look at my picking hand, and I'm really trying to minimize my movement of my right hand. And you can tell it's like a, you know, if you're into computer science and computer programming, there are no register overruns here. You know, you shift the pick, and then you run that register for until it runs out, and then you move on to the next register. And this becomes a really great set of skills to have. So we're going to do the thing in reverse. Everything that goes up must come down. 1 E and a 2 E and a 4 attacks per beat, go. Then it's 4, just rewind, you know, peeling the banana. So yeah, I know, I thought the same thing. And then I've heard that statistic before, and it's, you know, when you consider the speed at which he just practices, you know, it's just one of those things that the math doesn't lie. You know, you just take a look at, you know, practicing 3 hours a day, and then at 120 on the metronome, at 16th note triplets, and you do the math. It just is mind-boggling, isn't it? Cat named Doug, I really appreciate that you hooked on to that, because when I saw that, I shared it with a friend at MIT, and he's like, no way. We both laughed, and we're like, and then we listened to him play, and we're like, oh my God, he's not lying. He ain't lying. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Figure 2 is going to be the same thing, but we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then 3, 4, 1, 2, and then 4, 1, 2, 3. So we're starting each time we change a register or a string, we use a different finger as lead. Alright, so that's what's happening with this one. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. And then 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what I'm going to do for myself is get better at this exercise. And then, so that was 4. And then we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. And then that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. then we use 1, 2, 3, then 4, and then 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I'm getting better. 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. There we go. And we go down, we would descend that as well. And figure 3 is going to be the same application, but over the span of one string. What's your name? My name is Jason. What's your name? Good morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, and then we come back. Yes. So it's that's a tough one. So I can see those being valuable and a value add to my morning ritual. So yesterday we added figure number 4, and we'll stay here today with finger 1, 1, 3, and 4, and it's a parallel situation. So we're not changing anything. We're using fingers 1, 3, and 4, and this is a measure to get all of the fingertips aligned to each string. So we're playing sequentially and positionally, linearly, horizontally. All of this comes together with exercises like this. Now we're concerned with, you know, we don't want the fingers necessarily to be up here because it will take that much more time to reach destination. So we're using 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Right, so let's do this with 4 attacks per beat. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, E and a. Let's take a look. 2, 4, 5, 3, figure 5. Oh, figure 5 is different. Sorry. Let's start in position 4 again. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, E and a. And then 4, 3, 2, so it'd be, let's see. Mechanically, there are some really interesting things going on here with this. Good. I think that completes our warm-up session for this morning, and I know some of us have places to go, people to see, things to do. We have also, I know your time is supremely valuable, and I don't want to be a contributing factor. I don't want to be a risk factor, so I'm going to encourage you to continue practicing and continue on your journey, and go check out some of the other channels that are in the live chat here today. Do yourself a favor, if you're here and you haven't checked out like Anthony, Mr. Tortorello's channel, he's got some really cool stuff going on in his channel. We've got, let's see, we've got Raul, we've got Kevin is, I'm not sure, I see we had Kanye West on this morning and a brief discussion with his people and my people, and we were able to make it happen. And so thank you very much for jumping on board, Kanye. And let's see, we have, yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for being here, Mr. Tortorello, and let's realize some lofty goals this year together, okay? And I'm looking forward to it. We had a few things happen yesterday where I was unable to listen to your denim, your band. Can you just shout the name of your band one more time? And where I might be able to locate them? Yeah. YouTube and Spotify, right on, right on, right on. So we have that to look forward to today. We have some new listening. Thank you very much for the request. Thank you for being here. And I wish you an absolutely wonderful day. I'm going to continue moving on. We've got some more work to do. And we'll see you again tomorrow at same time, same bat place. It's 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our morning ritual for guitar growth. And until we meet again. Oh, wait a minute. Can we get that up to 20 likes? Anybody grab that? We've got 4 more likes. Can we get to 20 likes with who's here now? If you're here right now, you can do me a huge favor. Just a really simple, huge, yeah, all right, I see another one come by. Yes, if you can just grab 3 more likes. If you're here and you haven't hit the like button yet, if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be a big help, and no worries if you don't do it, but it's right there for you to hit. And I guess I'm gonna head. Dog Lover, come on guys, give them 3 more likes. Yeah, Dog Lover 6000. That's right. Yeah, we can do it. Let me just hang out for a few more minutes and see what we can get. So what's it going to take for us to get 2 more likes? What's it going to take? What do I need to do? Because I'm prepared to light a ring of fire and jump through the thing if we need to, you know. I guess that was YouTube 10 years ago. Maybe a little on the side of passé, right? So let's do a little Darn That Dream. Let's turn that metronome off for this because such a great ending. Do you know what I mean? It's just a beautiful major 7 arpeggio. Just an approach to an A minor 7 with A in the bass. And then don't forget to hit that like button. We're waiting. We'll wait patiently, no problem. And then what's happening here? What is this chord? So with the A flat in the bass, we've got a 9, we've we've got a sharp 11, we've got a major 7, we've got a sharp 11, so it's another major, it's a flat 2 major 7 with an add 9 sharp 11, and then G major 7 right at the end, right? So beautiful stuff. I haven't fixed my truss rod yet, but ooh, let's get that right. Yeah, all right, we've got one more like to get. All right, one more. Kevin, I know I was trying to get done before you had to leave. Let's get one more like, one more like. All right, see you tomorrow, Kevin. Thank you for sticking around today, and we can do this. I'm going to manifest one more like. Ready? All right, I can do it. Nope. All right, here we go. I'm going to do it in 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, that'll have to do. I appreciate all of you being here. It's enough vaudeville, and I appreciate you being here, and we'll see you all again tomorrow. And thank you for your support. It definitely does not go unnoticed. Well, until we meet again, happy picking, friends.